Hi all, my name is Dhani, and in this particular video we'll talk about how to restore a backup on SQL Server. To start with, thank you for all your suggestions, comments and questions on all the videos that I have posted in past. Based on your suggestions, I'm trying to come up with new videos as you are requesting. So keep suggesting, do subscribe to the channel, share these videos on social media so that others can benefit from these videos if you think they are useful. So if you have seen the yesterday's video where we discussed how you take a backup of the database, we'll take the same backup that we have taken yesterday from SQL Server Management Studio and try to restore it on the SQL Server. So to start that, let's quickly check where is our file. So if you remember from yesterday video, we took a database backup and we named it as demo database 15 on 30th June 2020. So to restore the database, let's open SQL Server Management Studio. And if you don't have SQL Server Management Studio and you are using SQL Express, then there's a video in the playlist which you can see, which talks about from where you can download SQL Server Management Studio and how you can install it. So once you are on your SQL Server Management Studio, right click on the database node and choose Restore Database. Once you click on Restore Database, a new page will pop up like this, and there will be 3 pages inside this: journal, files and options, and I'll walk you through what these options are based on my knowledge that I know about. So let's talk about the journal page. So the way you can restore a database, you don't need a backup. If just to take an example, if I want to create a copy of one of the existing database in my SQL Server, I can use the database option in my source. So the source is from where you want to take the backup from, or which database you want to use to be restored. So you can choose any of the existing database that are there. But if you have taken backup from another SQL Server which you want to restore, then you will choose the device to select the file, backup file that you have taken from another SQL Server. Once you choose device, you need to click on these 3 dots to select that file, and then a second window pops up which says select backup devices. You want to choose it from file or URL. URL is used for Azure and file is for a backup file that you have .bak extension. Once you have chosen your media type, then click on add, and if you have set up the default path correctly, it will point to your default location where all the backups have been placed. There's a separate video which talks about how to set those default path in the same playlist. Once you have chosen your backup file, click OK, and then again choose OK. So once you choose OK, there are some default values which will get filled in automatically. The first one is the database, which is the database name from which this backup was taken, the file that we selected. So if you remember in the last video, we took the backup of demo database nav 15-0. So that database comes here. So that's all about the source one. Let's come down to the destination tab. In the destination tab, there is a database, which is the name of the database that you want to give for the new database that will be created. So I want to call it, let's say, demo DB because I already have a demo database nav 15.0. The second one is provides you detail that what you are trying to restore when this backup was taken. So it gives you detail that the last backup was taken on 30th June 2020 at 1:35 a.m. and then the details about your files which resides inside that backup file. It gives you all the details that it have, what is the size of it, when that was started, at what time it was finished, the backup and all. And as soon as we set all these, you will see it on top there is an warning which says a tail log backup of the source database will be taken. View the settings on the option page. So we'll navigate there and see what that means. Coming down to the second page, which is files, here you decide where you want to store your files. By default, the file names will be pointing to the same path from where the source database was from. So when I took the backup yesterday, the database files were placed in this path, but because I changed the database name in General tab to demo database, you will see that the file names are ending with demo database DB. If I do change it again like demo video and go to files, you'll see that the file names are again changed, but the path is actually coming from what it was while the backup was taken. So maybe you don't have that path available on your system, which is from the another system from where you took the backup. You can always click on this relocate all files in the folder and decide where your data files will move and decide where your log files will move. Again, these settings are coming based on the default paths that I have defined, which is there in another video. So that's okay. I have this folder and I'll use that, or I'll click on this so that as soon as I click on this, these path changes at the beginning, it changes to the path where it was supposed to be. Coming down to the last tab, which is options, and there are so many options here, so let's go and see them. Restore options. The first one is override the existing database. I would recommend never to use this option or never set that boolean, and the reason is that if you set this, the restore operation will override the files of any database that is currently using the database name that you are specifying. So if I keep the database file name same as they are from demo database 15.0 and I check this option, the system will not give you an error and it will override the files. So in any situation, if you have to use it, use this option only after careful consideration. So preferably don't check that. If you don't check it and if your settings are overwriting an existing database file, it will warn you. So that helps you to tell to change that if there is a problem with the file conflict. Now the another one is preserve the replication setting with keep replication. What happens when you choose this option is the restore process tries to preserve the replication setting while restoring the database on the server. This option is only relevant if the database was replicated when the backup was created. So if there was a replication done on the backup that you have taken, then this makes sense, otherwise don't check it. I never said this. And then the last one is restrict access to a restored database with restricted user. If you set this option to true, it makes sure that once the database is restored, it is only available to the members of database owner, database creator and sysadmin. No other user will be able to access it. So it will put your database into a restricted user mode. So if you want, you can set this, but I haven't faced a situation where I'll need it. Coming down, there is a option for recovery date, which have three options: restore with recovery, with no recovery, and with the standby. It determines the state of database after the restore operation, and based on what you select, it behaves in that way. Like if you select restore with the recovery, it recovers the database after restoring the final backup checked in the backup set to restore. I keep it as standard as it is, and I don't touch this option, and I have not much experience with that option, so I'll not talk about it. Next we come down to the tail log backup, and this is where this warning was coming from. So what a tail log backup is: a tail log backup captures any record that has not yet been backed up to prevent the work loss, to keep the log chain intact. So if you want to take a tail log backup, you set this, and then there is a path where it will get stored. I normally uncheck this, that I don't need it at this point, but if you want it, you can keep it. And then there are some prompts that do you want it, there's a connection. So the minimum parameters that you need is select your backup file, change the database name if you already have an existing one with the same name, otherwise don't change it. Make sure that your files are going to the right path, and then make sure that you uncheck tail log backup and don't check any of these options. Then you click OK, and as you click OK, the restore process starts, and then it says that database, the name that I have given, is restored successfully. Let's click OK, and you will see a new database is added in my SQL Server Management Studio. If I go to the physical path, I'll have a file for demo video data, because that's where I wanted it to be stored, and on the log folder there will be a file demo video log based on the options and the settings that I have chosen in the files tab during the restore operation. So with that, the restoration process is complete. I hope you learn something from this video. If you do, please let me know on comments. Please do share this video. I would request you to subscribe this channel if any of these videos are making sense. Please let me know on comments if I have to change something, the way I'm presenting, or if you need more details on certain topics. I'll surely do those changes in future videos. Thank you, and see you next time.